So first,
Absolutely.
and I was
Let's dig it all up.
Oh, no.
True.
You'll never guess.
So sidebar.
Yes. And also, I feel like I shouldn't have to remember everything.
I know.
Actually, I have to talk about this.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is also podcast.
Woohoo!
The first one. We're testing it out. We're seeing how it goes.
Yeah, we want to know what you guys like to hear, not like to hear. We're just kind of figuring out the also era. So we're figuring it out with you guys.
It feels weird not watching something and then like I was literally like, am I forgetting something?
Yeah, I know. I felt that too because like Alicia and I had already talked about, doing a little bit more planning to get used to this version of a podcast. Yeah. So like I knew I was watching something, but I knew you weren't, and I didn't have to physically. I never had to get so far in a show that I wanted to talk about. Like I just get to watch and like I get to lay on my couch and just live my life, and then we get to talk about it.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't know what to do. And Meredith and I have gone back and forth on like how we want to start it, because we don't want it to be total chaos, but we do want a little chaos because that's just us.
Yeah.
So like a little structure, a little chaos.
It's you know what? It's the like, are they called Venn diagrams where they're two circles that overlapped between the pre-show and our regular podcast episodes?
Yeah. We need like a nice middle. Yes. So we've kind of come up with something, and you guys let us know because we trust our patrons so much.
Well, we do this for us and for you.
Yeah. But like, let us know if you like this, if you want us to add something else in, what your thoughts are. But the thing Meredith and I have decided to start with is we're going to do like a high and low, or like a rose and thorn kind of thing. Yeah. Because we're obviously just going to talk about any, like I could say that I ate a nut and Meredith would be like, what kind of nut?
Wow.
And we would talk about it. So this is how we're going to hopefully get the ball rolling. So Meredith, do you have a high and a low from the last time I talked to you?
Yeah, I do. My low, I'm going to start with my low because I I'm trying to be more positive right now.
Boo.
Well, you'll find out why. My low is that my back has been hurting so bad because I've been so stressed and like overwhelmed. So then like my body is like clearly taking it on. So that's why I'm trying to be more positive, because I need to stop stressing out.
Is it lower back?
Yeah. And like,
oh, that's the worst.
I've always had back issues. So usually, like heating pad and like meds and like, that'll be fine. And I can lay on the couch. I'm at the point where laying on the couch is even painful.
But that's our hobby.
I know.
Just laying on the couch.
I know. So it's been a really rough week because like nothing is comfortable.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I have low back problems too, but it's because I sleep on my stomach.
Oh.
Like even if I could like fall asleep on my back and wake up on my stomach. Like my body loves.
I definitely don't sleep right. I twist all around. I'll do anything for comfort. But
we're also so used to sleeping alone. Like sleeping with a person is my whole nightmare.
I've recently decided I can't ever let people spend the night at my apartment because I just cannot share my bed.
My friends' parents, they have 2 separate beds.
I love.
Pushed together.
Oh!
So they each have like a queen or something. Yeah, they have a huge fucking bed. But for a while, even before that, they had 2 separate rooms. And I was like, and they're still married. So I was like, this is what marriage is.
You gotta do what's right for you.
And my mom sleeps on the couch, mostly because my dad snores and or beats her up accidentally in her sleep.
Oh my God.
So, or in his sleep.
That's her low of the week.
Yeah. He my dad has a lot of night terrors. It's better now that he got a new job, because at his old job it was constant. But he like always thinks he's like protecting our family from like something, so he's fighting in his sleep. And he has been known to like accidentally punch my mom. He's broken her toe by accident. Like she wakes up and she's like, I'm being beaten, and he's like, I have no idea, I'm just having
went to
nightmare.
War last night.
Yeah, he's like, there's someone broke in the house, I was fighting. And she's like, it was me.
Gosh.
It was me, and I live here.
Jesus.
So anyway, sorry about your back.
That's okay. It'll be fine.
Do you want me to do my low and then we'll both do highs?
Do you want to do your low?
Meredith already knows because I texted her yesterday and called her.
You announced it in the Patreon today, though, too.
And I announced it in the Patreon, so everyone knows. But I got laid off. It's like a mix of emotions. It's very like, well, because I wasn't the happiest at my current job. So it's for the best. But yesterday I was like, but what about my income? Because I live a lifestyle where I need to be paid.
That's the thing. I know we talked about it this week and we were like, F work, like it'll be fine. Like we
Yeah.
want to be laid off, but then it's like, wait, but I want to be laid off with you still paying me.
Oh my God, dude, when I tell you all summer I've been saying like, if I don't get summer of severance, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be pissed. And then my dream comes true and I'm like, I can't believe I put this out into the universe. This sucks.
I'm dying when it
Oop.
finally comes true.
Whoops.
Oops.
Whoops. But it's a mix. It's fine. Today was really nice because I've done nothing. It was kind of nice knowing Monday I'll also do nothing. But if we're gonna be so fucking real,
be real.
I've been applying to jobs. I had an interview today. I got 2 on Monday. I got 1 on Tuesday. I got 2 the next week. Like, I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
But also,
that's awesome.
My life is now like, do I even want to be an accountant?
That's so for real, Alicia.
What else would I do?
How do you make a job pivot at this point? Like, do you go back to school? Like, no, this is just a general question, not specific to you, but like, I have felt that too. Like, am I actually happy what I'm doing? Or is it just like the sunk cost fallacy where it's like, I put so much time and energy and I did my degree in this, so then I'm just going to keep going. But like, what's the point in that?
Yeah, I don't, ideally, if I could be anything realistically at my point now, I would love to be a professional podcast. Because all I do is sit and talk for a living.
I love to yap.
I love to yap. But if I could go back and like get a different degree, have you ever thought about this? If you could like do it over?
Good question.
I feel like I would want to go into like casting. I've said this before, like casting for
shows.
Yeah, some sort of like TV show or movie. I know I'd probably have to start with commercials. But I think I'd be really good at being like, that person has the quality I need. Because I watch so much TV. I watch like, whether it's scripted or reality, I watch so much.
Alicia,
I think I could do it.
I love that. I wonder how one does that. I'm gonna ask my cousin.
I think you have to start as like a production assistant, like shitty jobs, and get coffee. And then you like slowly do commercials or like photo shoots.
Oh my gosh.
I just know I was fascinated. There was this one documentary about the show Freaks and Geeks and like the making. And like the casting director was like, this is what we were thinking of Seth Rogen when he came out, and like James Franco, and it was all their first roles. So she was like looking for very specific things. And I was like, damn, I could fucking do that.
So would you want to be a scripted series like caster? Like movies and TV shows?
At reality.
Yeah.
Like give me Big Brother, you know, where people come out for it and I have to watch hours of TV or of your tapes.
The video submissions.
But I think if I worked really closely with writers, I could do a scripted one. But I'd have to understand the character.
Yeah.
Like I could never do it for like 90 Day Fiance because I don't watch that.
Actually, I still think I could pick out some good reality TV stars.
Like I could do Survivor.
Because they would be in this situation. Like people are applying for reality TV, you know? It's a very niche circumstance for 90 Day Fiance.
Yeah, but you need a star.
I know, but you and I could like suss out. Because it's people I feel like we wouldn't want to be friends with who are just pure chaos. But
people
we would want to watch them afar.
To, but don't want to be around.
Yes.
But we could also do it as a team.
Exactly.
I think that would really work for us.
All right. There's our future.
Okay, what would you do if you could do it over?
I think I would, because I've always had this in the back of my mind with my dad being a lawyer, of like being a lawyer myself.
Ooh. Different than me.
I just love it. And that kind of goes into actually one of my things for today, because this isn't my thing, but I know I put this in my Friday Bravo thoughts that I had been watching the Karen Reed trial and I got really into it. And I finally made my dad like read about it and get into it right as like the verdict was like coming around. For those who don't know, this woman in Boston was accused of hitting her boyfriend with a car. I am on the team that it's a huge cover up. This became an international like scandal, which was so fun to watch. And I was talking to our patron Sarah about it in Friday Bravo Thoughts, like, cause she was asking about like some of the American, judicial system rules and stuff. And so we were like chit-chatting about that. And she reminded me about the Teacher's Pet podcast. Did you ever listen to that? It came out in like 2019. It was about the guy in Australia who his wife went missing, and he groomed that high school girl because he was like a high school teacher, and then eventually married her. Well, Sarah reminded me, because they had pulled down the Teacher's Pet podcast in Australia so the court case could happen. She reminded me that it actually happened, and they did a whole podcast about that. So I've been listening to the it's called Teacher's Trial, and these two new like journalists are basically like kind of hosting it, because the original journalist is going to be called as a witness in the trial. So I'm not that far into it because I'm doing it whenever I'm like on my little walks, and I don't, but only if I am like, well, if I'm leaving the house and walking, I do, but sometimes I'll like walk on my treadmill and watch TV. And normally I listen to podcasts on 1.25 speed, but this one I can't because of the accents, and it's just like so,
Is it by the Australian?
Focused. Yes. Yeah. That's the like newspaper that puts it on. So I'm during the court case. It's really interesting. It's not as like dramatic because you already know the story, but it's fulfilling my need for being a lawyer. I think I just need to be a lawyer by podcasts.
Is the original one still up now?
I think it should be. Yeah, they relaunched it in Australia once the trial was over, but Australia has different laws than we do, where you.
Oh, I do remember this one.
The way you like journalists have just stricter stuff on how they can cover cases to not as like influence obviously the jury, which I think is really great. So they pulled it down, but I'm pretty sure it's back up.
Amazing. I just found
so yeah. Anybody who wants to be a lawyer with me, we're not going to be lawyers. We're going to be lawyers by podcasts.
By oh my God, like the Bravo docket.
Yeah, but they actually are lawyers.
Yeah, but we could do.
I'm just going to, fulfill that need.
Like you're fine. I love it.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, what's your high?
This one you're going to find funny because I would not do this when we work together. I kind of accidentally found myself in a kickball league.
Amazing. It's through work?
No, my friend, the one who like wants to be on our podcast, his team needs girls a lot, and so they'll like always ask me to sub if they need another girl. And even last night I went and I was like, guys, I need to do the least because my back hurts so bad, but I'll be here. And every time I'm always like, oh, I'm not going to stay out drinking with them. And then I do. And I have so much fun with them. So they're like, no, you're actually officially going to be on the team next season we start, which is literally next Thursday. But I'm like, no, let me just be the forever sub. And I'll show up to every game. But let me just tell myself I'm the sub.
Pay and put an effort, you know?
Correct. I don't want to be relied on, but I'll show up.
But I am like mad at you because we did a kickball league for work and you refused to sign up.
I know, I was scared to be bad, but now I just don't care because these are boys I can make fun of. Like, they're, like, in such good friendly ways that I'm like, Meredith, I want to make fun of them for caring.
The people we went to work with.
I know.
What?
I know.
The worst one? No. So, the funniest thing was when I got kicked in the face.
Oh, my God.
And you missed it. You missed it because you were afraid of looking foolish. But guess who was the biggest fool? It was me.
Okay, but my manager put so much pressure on me during the sand volleyball team. I was like, I don't want to be a part of any sports.
He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He would yell at me and I'd be like, shut the fuck up.
Oh
Shut up,
God.
Dave. What are you yelling at me about?
That's true. Why am I hiding his name?
Why is this white man yelling at me about nothing? It's kickball, Dave. It's kickball. Calm down.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I love that. I love kickball.
So when you move back, we have a kickball league.
Oh my God, yeah, I'll totally join. I love. I did one in Chicago. I think I did the one from work, and then I did one with my friends, and that one was fun. Except there was this one game where everyone got injured. Like someone pulled a hamstring, someone broke their arm, someone like fucking got hit in the face.
That's the thing. I won't give that much effort. The hit in the face you can't really control, but
yeah, we've been there.
I'm just here.
There was another time that I had to play against my college ex, and that was just, I think I've told that story, but that was just crazy too.
We were in the playoffs and we lost in the final four. We didn't go to the championship game. And the people were like, it was a bad game because there was a lot of yapping on both sides, and then we stayed and watched the championship game, and a girl from our team was like with the other team that they like, not the people we just played, but she was with them like chirping at the team we just played, and the team we wanted to win won, and it was so funny. And the team we hated were like, why are you guys still here? And we were like, because we have so much beer, we're just gonna watch the whole game.
My God, you're like starting fights in Chicago.
I was like, this is the night we get beat up in Chicago over a fucking kickball game.
But it happens. Like, I get overly mad about fucking nothing.
Yes.
Like, I did one through work in New York, and there was this one guy I like totally just fucking hated because we had these Walmart hats from like a launch we did at Walmart. And so we wore them because I just needed a fucking hat and it was in the office.
Yeah.
And this guy comes over and he's like, he points at me and said, God, I don't even remember the town, but he says a town's name. And I go, what? And he goes, in Arkansas. And I go, never been. Why are you pointing at me saying that? And he goes, it's where Walmart's headquartered. Benton.
Right?
Yeah, he goes, Benton. And but like, I forget I'm wearing it. So he just goes, Benton. And I was like,
what?
Oh my God. He goes, Arkansas. And again, I go, great. What a great state. What are we talking about? And he's like, that's where Walmart's located. And I go,
congrats.
Amazing. And then he goes, I'm from there. And I go, literally?
Shut up.
I don't know why that made me irrationally mad, but I was like, that man's my enemy. He's my whole enemy.
Oh my gosh.
I love that. Okay, do I have to do my high?
Yeah, what's your high of the week?
There isn't much. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, it's kind of like a mini retirement and I'm kind of in about it. But like I'm trying to think specifically I'm getting pizza tonight. We don't really have to go in on that, but
oh yeah, you're at home with your family. It's Friday pizza night.
It's Friday pizza night. I hate that you know that. Yeah, so
I've known you for a long time.
For those of you who might have missed that exact episode, my family every Friday would order pizza. It was like pizza night.
Yeah, I'd be so jealous.
And so when I got laid off yesterday, my mom was like, we'll do Friday pizza night because there's just one place by my parents and it's expensive, but it's my favorite. And we're going to get it tonight. And I'm pumped because I'm just going to like eat a bunch of pizza. And then because I'm lactose intolerant, I'm probably going to be very sick after, but that's okay. I'm willing to do it.
You're going to enjoy the part one of it.
Also, honestly, ever since coming back from Italy, everything I eat, whether there's lactose or not, I'm sick.
Alicia,
I don't know what it is.
After you said that and like reminded me, I've been looking at my face and I'm like, my face was like, I felt so healthy. My skin was decent. Actually, that's not true. My skin has just been going through it. But, but like
right.
My face was a little thinner. Like I wasn't so puffy and like I wasn't as bloated. Like my clothes fit me.
That is the least of my concern. I eat a piece of bread here and
your tummy.
My tummy's on fire.
Just loses it.
But no, it's like after every single thing I eat, it's like clockwork. Like this might be TMI, but we're on the Patreon. My asshole's on fire.
You got to reset your gut. What's it called?
I just left a wellness company, so I'm feeling unwell and I don't really want to use their products and they're the only ones I currently have. So
you should just use them because if you already have them, it's not like you bought them and gave them money.
I'm just like petty as fuck. So
we're not going to buy them moving forward, but you might as well use what you've got. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so if anybody has any wellness brands they really love,
let me know because I'm in the market for new shit. And yeah, so I'm excited to eat pizza on Friday night. And then my mom and dad are just gonna like shower me with love. Probably not. My dad's not gonna shower me with love. But my mom has been, which is lovely.
That's a one pro. I'm glad you're getting the attention in your family, even though it comes at
such a cost, right? Because every time I walk upstairs, my mom's like, how are you doing? And I'm like, I'm on the verge, obviously, but if you could not, no, I feel great. Dying. It also made me feel better because everyone in the office obviously is obsessed with me, except leadership, obviously.
Oh, yeah, what were people's response?
Oh, pissed. So it's already a pretty bleak there, but I am personality hire numero uno.
You were like thick as thieves with everyone.
I'm the one.
And you just announced your podcast, everybody.
Yeah, people were following. Most of them are my coworkers that I'm friends with.
Yeah.
And so I texted everyone as I'm on the phone with HR because I'm petty. And I told everyone, and everyone was outraged. And then people were like, this is so stupid. I'm so mad. My best friend, who I'll shout out, her name's Erin. She is on my team. So our boss called her and was like, hey, I have some like terrible news. Obviously, Erin already knew because she was my first text. And they told Erin that like I had been let go. And Erin, I guess, just goes, fuck that bullshit, and hung up. Because fuck
Love
it.
that.
Everyone's mad. Everyone was texting me. I heard people were crying when they found out.
Oh my God. And they were in the office that day too.
The CEO, though, she worked from home. So she
Oh my
she
God.
woof. But yeah, so I have it. People were crying in the office. People were so sad.
You were the face of their TikTok there for a minute. What are they going to do now?
I'm wondering if I can ask them to please remove me. But I think I just don't want to.
Probably
like
not.
whatever. I've already asked if I could keep the computer while I search for a new one. So we'll see. If not, I gotta go panic buy some computer. But I do want something with a better camera. But yeah, the fact that people were crying, I had people text me
You're
being
beloved.
like, this is bullshit. When the email came out, everyone texted it to me and was like, this is terrible. Should I respond? Like, I'm so mad. What do I do? And I was like, look, you guys might hate it, but you guys also need jobs.
Yeah.
So like, don't do it.
Don't do this, but search for a new job.
Everyone was calling me. It's pretty hilarious. And also, this has never happened to, which is so funny. My friend Erin goes, the whole office is gonna go, like everyone we like, we're going to drinks for you next week.
Hell
and
yeah.
I was like, oh, am I invited? And they're like, yeah, we're all gonna wear black because it's your funeral.
Oh my
and
God.
I was like, no, I'm obsessed. Tell me where and when. So
oh gosh.
Just when you're beloved,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love picturing people crying over me just getting laid off.
Oh God. Well, in happier news,
awesome.
what have you been reading, watching, and listening to?
I'm so excited. Okay, so first the Olympics start. Opening ceremonies was terrible.
Insane.
Oh.
No, I'm just like insane. It's already here.
Yeah, no, the opening ceremonies I gave up on. But insane about Olympics. I'm very excited. I've been watching the Vampire Diaries, Meredith.
Yeah, where are you at with that?
Okay, so I'm still in season 5.
Give you a fast 5.
Catherine had taken over Elena's body.
Yes.
She was in it for a while, and I was so about it. Best storyline ever. Trying to kiss Stefan. I wish he would just give in. She broke up with Damon. It was great. They figured it out, and I was like, oh, Catherine, just run away. But she didn't because she really loved Stefan, so she was okay with dying, and then they like killed her. But she couldn't go through Bonnie, so I don't believe she's dead. I think she's gonna come back, which I'm excited about. What else is happening? There was something else I had a note about. Don't worry, I was taking notes. Oh, Damon and Elena, so dramatic. So Elena's back in her body, but Catherine poked her with that. Currently, there's like a vampire eating disease that other vampires are getting. So if you're a vampire, you get inserted with this thing, and then you're hungry for vampire blood specifically. Yep. But there was a strain of this with werewolf venom, which is, if you didn't know, it's not great for vampires. It's deadly.
I don't know if you know about vampirism like Alicia does.
I don't know if you know, but
remember when you said that this show was so confusing because all the rules there were just so many rules.
It's so many rules.
We need the whiteboard guys to explain the Vampire Diaries and explain it that vampirism.
Way. But yeah, so werewolf venom bad. So Catherine stabbed Elena with it before Catherine was chased out of her body. So now Elena is trapped in this house, right? And she's dying from the werewolf venom, but she also wants to kill vampires and drink their blood. But she's on the phone with Damon, who just wants to kill vampires and drink their blood, and he's chained up somewhere else. And they are so goddamn, first of all, gross. They were basically having phone sex. And I was like, he's like, we should get, like, I want to see you. And she's like, we can't. We would just, like, destroy each other because they would eat each other. And he's like, in more ways than one. And I was like, bleh. Blech. I like when he's a jerk. I don't like this.
Oh my
But
God.
anyway, then they get out. She escapes, he escapes. It doesn't matter. But she's like, "We're toxic. We shouldn't be together." And he's
We're
like,
toxic.
"Then
We're
leave
vampires who want
me.
to eat each
Yeah,
other and
then
we're
leave me."
toxic.
Oh, because he killed one of Elena's friends, so she's pissed. And he's like, "Then
Who did he
stop."
kill?
Some guy named Aaron. He's not important.
Oh, the guy from school.
Some school kid, yeah.
Yes.
And so Damon's just like, "If we're so toxic, then leave me." And she's like, "I can't because I love you." And he's like, "Then stop loving me." And I was like, Jesus Christ, you two should honestly kill each other. They don't. They got the antidote.
The cure.
Yeah, the cure. So then they slept together, but they're still broken up.
Wait,
And
did the
now
cure fix the like wolf stuff in her blood too?
yes, something's happening.
So,
But
you know
also,
what? They'll make anything work. Let's
the
be
reason I
honest.
think they're cured is because they slept together and then literally slept together. So, like, fucked and slept together. So I was like, they're obviously fine. But Stefan's also, he's captured by these people called the Travelers who need him to be able to kill the doppelganger. So that's a different thing.
His doppelganger, right? Silas?
Yes. No. Avery. Thomas Avery.
What the fuck is Avery?
They have multiple because Elena has two doppelgangers.
Oh, no. Thomas Avery is what Silas's name he's been living under.
Oh, the paramedic? We haven't gotten there. Spoiler alert. No, I'm just kidding.
I think so.
Fucking care. I don't know.
think so.
So now Caroline has to and Enzo have to go kill Thomas Avery. But I love Caroline, okay?
Yeah.
Like everyone's like finding out that she slept with Klaus, and I'm like, no, but I'm in it.
No. You're so close to a moment I think you're gonna absolutely love with Caroline.
When I tell you there are 3 couples I ship. It's Caroline and Klaus, Caroline and Stefan and Catherine. Those are my top 3. Those are my big 3 that I want. And I don't know who wrote this series, but one of them, I better get 1 of 3. I better.
I don't know. Again, I haven't seen that last season, but I imagine that you'll get a dabbling of one of them.
But I'm also watching the originals, which is also just a great show.
Are you tandem watching them?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Homecoming and what's that
All
show
American.
we used to watch where like you kind of realize that something's happening that you need to go back and watch the other show for?
Yeah, it's both. Yeah. So like nothing's really happened besides like Klaus visited Caroline when they slept together and then he went back to New Orleans, and in the originals it was like Klaus is gone on a weekend trip. But the originals is also confusing because now you got witches and I was like, I don't know what's happening. But it's the acting. Klaus is a star. Who doesn't like this man? But then I saw a TikTok recently that was like, do you like toxic men? And then it brought up Klaus. And I think I saved it because I want to do a TikTok of me just being like, I'm attacked. Because it was a hard attack.
Oh.
And I was like, whoops. So yeah, that's it. And then I know you have a lot for watch, so I'll just really quick.
Well, I was about to say, speaking of toxic men.
Yeah, go. We'll go into reading if we have time, but go into toxic men.
Okay, for everybody, this is what I told Alicia I was doing. I literally have the longest notes and I didn't even put it in our shared doc because I started to realize there's so much, and I'm going to skip over a lot because there's a lot you and I know don't care about.
I want you to know though, I'm not reading your notes. So
No, I know, but it became so long and I just was like that this is going to be a lot.
Okay, I'm going to get comfy. I'm going to
get comfy. Okay.
Hang on. So if you hear ruffling, my allergies have been bad, so I'm just going to pop in a cough drop. Let's do this.
Love that. Okay, so I watched Teen Mom Next Chapter. First up, I want to just talk about some logistical beef that I'm pretty upset with.
Teen Mom is a show about teenagers who became moms back in 2006. And now they're all old.
This is for MTV. I'm pissed at you because MTV is with the Paramount Plus, streaming site. They don't put Teen Mom on their streaming site. They actually gave for season 2, they gave the streaming rights to some really shitty, tiny, small streaming thing that I literally had to go on Reddit to be like, how do I watch season 2? I watched all of season 1 and season 2 is airing right now. And that's what got me to start watching it again. So I can't even watch what I wanted to watch.
Yeah, it comes on later because the challenge, when it's airing,
that
isn't on Paramount.
Stupid.
It just goes like at like years later. It shows up on Paramount.
Yes. What
which
is with
weird.
this?
Wait, also, Teen Mom Next Chapter only has one other season?
Okay, because
I watched something like that.
I know. Oh wait, well, okay. So there's Teen Mom, which had the like OG ladies, and then they had Teen Mom 2. They had a Teen Mom 3, but I think that lasted 5 seconds. And then they went to Teen Mom Family Reunion.
I watched that.
That has 2 seasons, and then they started Teen Mom Next Chapter. And that has 1 season, but they do it like Siesta Key, where it's 2 seasons in one.
A-B.
Because I think because
they don't want to pay.
Being cheap. Yeah, and they don't want to increase people's pay. So they can get... There were 39 episodes in season 1, if that tells you how long this is. And yeah,
oh my god. Yes. Okay, I watched Family Reunion, I think.
I think I need to go back and watch it because...
It was crazy. It was good. It was a good time.
So did you watch the one where like Brianna and Ashley like got into a fight?
Yes.
Okay. So I didn't know
there was
that
one
all happened.
Farrah showed up.
Yeah.
There was one Caitlin's mom got in a really big fight with someone else's mom.
Oh my god.
And then there was like this like lives rent free, but they had to do this exercise where you went with your mom. So like your mom had a rope standing on like a platform, and it was attached to the daughter across a mud pit. And the mom had to help the daughter walk through the mud pit so they could like fix their relationship. So as your mom's like helping you through a mud pit. But as you can imagine, April, Caitlin's mom,
not helpful.
Caitlin did not make it through that mud pit without tears and yelling. It was so funny.
Yeah, so since I'm not going to get season 2 like I want, I think I need to go back and watch Family Reunion. So that'll be my next journey.
Okay, but 1 and 2, give it to me.
Just 1.
We're just doing 1. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm doing both parts. I've seen both parts of season 1. But okay, first up, just want to say there's a lot of addiction issues in this group, and I just feel for everybody with that. But I'm gonna lightly go over that just because.
Yeah, tell me who.
It's just kind of
heartbreaking.
And
if you know what they're addicted to,
everybody has something. Okay, so the groupings are, and I'm gonna skip over these first 3 very briefly because no offense to these people, I don't really care about that.
That's fair.
Ashley and Bar had some substance abuse issues. He went to rehab. He's doing a lot better. He had a court issue thing.
Yeah.
And then he was on probation. He had to be in California while she's in Nevada doing school. So like they're separated for 2 years. For 2 years.
She was on Family Reunion and he couldn't go because he was like trapped wherever he was and she had to go to film. I
think one of those family reunions happened after season 1 then.
Probably. What do I know?
Interesting. Okay.
Go watch
that
it.
Kind of makes sense.
I think it was him. He has tattoos on his face.
Yeah.
I think it was him.
Yes. Also, Ashley and Cheyenne have beef because Cheyenne inevitably uninvites Ashley from her wedding. Problems.
Fine, whatever. Yeah. I love Cheyenne.
Me too. It's Cheyenne's wedding.
Cheyenne.
Like, come on.
Team Cheyenne.
Okay, Leah dates that guy and then they get engaged and then she finds out he lied to her about putting her on the deed of the house that she gave him 20 grand for. Nobody knows where the 20 grand is. Like what if she like got it fixed or if she got it back or like what it's just a lot of internet talk about some like 20 grand she gave him.
Wait, the guy she was engaged to?
Yeah, they're not together anymore.
Oh my God,
she like tried to be friends with him and then like found out even more and then like all this other stuff. It just Leah, I feel bad for Leah. Leah's the reason I wanted to start watching season 2 because apparently Jeremy, like Leah becomes a waitress and then Jeremy comes and like
I saw that clip.
Drunk. Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, I want to know what's happening. I love that she had a normal job.
I liked Jeremy. Well, he was like
he was entertaining for being a disaster, but not too big of a disaster.
He was better than a lot of the other dads on the show.
Correct.
But what was her first husband? He was
Corey.
Great.
Yeah.
Corey. I mean, they had their issues too, and Corey was like definitely over 18 when Leah was definitely 16.
Yes, I think he was like 2 years older, so it wasn't like some like way older guy being really creepy on her. But that's how Gary and Amber were
Yeah,
too.
that one was weird too.
Oh my god.
Okay, cool, Leah.
Yeah, so not much with Leah. Brianna and Devoyne, it was very will they won't they, like he was into her. He has gambling issues.
Who is this man?
Devoyne, he's Brianna's. She calls
Oh,
him Devon, but
Devon.
we found out a few years ago that his real name is actually
Oh,
Devoyne.
but I know Devon, yeah.
Yes. So he has gambling issues.
She doesn't know his name.
She does.
Oh,
She
no.
just has always pronounced it wrong. And
Oh, no.
if other people call him Devoyne, she'll call him Devoyne. But if she's just talking to a camera, she calls him Devon. It's the whole naming thing is a whole other thing.
But he's her first dad,
first baby
right?
daddy. Yeah. But treats the second like he'll always
Like
do stuff
his
with her
own.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's like Nova and Stella. They got like
yes.
like space names. They do a Nova and Stella.
That's so true. I never thought about that.
They're kind of like spacey.
Devoyne has gambling issues. He goes to rehab, says he's better, but starts playing the lottery. He's not better.
Nice.
So
okay.
Brianna will not be with him until he like gets his life a little bit together. But he is the most active dad, so
yeah, he's always around.
He's in a way better spot than he has been in years past. So
okay,
that's great.
We're rooting for you, Devoyne. Okay.
This is where I deep dive on some of these people because next up we got Amber, Gary, and Christina.
Oh my god, this is a mess. If you guys don't know this story, try and find just like on YouTube like a highlights of these three.
Amber is also a reason I want to restart the series after seeing in season 2 that Leah wants Christina to adopt her. And I'm like, Leah is going to absolutely tailspin and then Leah will feel guilty and she shouldn't.
Can I say?
Yeah.
I didn't like Gary at the beginning. I didn't. I wasn't and he has done better, but you have to remember he was shit to Amber specifically for a very long time.
Correct.
That being said, Amber, my girl, I'm trying. I tried for a really long time.
I'm done trying. I am done with
anymore.
Amber.
You're not you'll go into it, but she's just not it right now.
She is gone 90% of the time, and I think the reason that they changed this entire show to be how it is, because episodes will be like, you only get like 3 or 4 of the girls in each episode, and I think they do that because then they pay them an episodic rate rather than just paying them like $50,000 to appear on the show. Yeah. Because Amber's gone all the time. She's maybe in 2 episodes.
Well, she has had addiction issues in the past. She has anger issues. She doesn't want to be a present mother.
No.
She fucking took a machete to her ex who was holding their baby.
I forgot about that.
She's gone to rehab. She's gone to jail for both anger and drugs. Both of them, she has ended up in both places for both things.
It's hard when you see like a lot of the other people and their addiction issues. Like I said, it's sprinkled out throughout every story. Like they want to do better. And while they may relapse later, like when they are home and sober, like they are the most present people. But I feel like Amber doesn't ever want to be present. She wants to just be she wants Leah to be her mom. She wants to parentify Leah, and Leah needs to handle things. I feel the same way about Ryan Edwards. Like the way those two parents want their children to just like coddle them is so gross.
Well, it's very like specifically with Amber, she's not present when she's there. She's on her phone. She has a boyfriend she makes Leah hang out with. She never does what Leah wants to do. She brought Leah along on like a romantic getaway once. And I was like,
weird.
She's just feeling like you're plus one.
Yeah.
And Amber is just...
It always feels like it's Leah's responsibility to maintain the relationship. And it's like, she's the child. But then Amber's upset if Leah doesn't invite her to like her birthday party. And it's like, what have you done to get that invite? Like, you're not around her at all.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, but then she like, when she's with Leah, she's swearing at her. Mm-hmm. She's telling her like, this is why I don't like you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you go into it, but yeah.
It's a lot. And then a big storyline throughout like the season 1 is that of Amber's custody with her son. And you can tell like Amber puts her son on a pedestal. And granted, he is a smaller child. And so I get like it's exciting to have the baby times that you didn't get to have with Leah, but it just makes Leah feel like shit when she's like, it's a lot easier to like have a close relationship with James. That's a really shitty comment, but I feel bad because Andrew, the ex, moved to California, and
with their
Amber
kid.
has to travel, or he has to travel to Amber, and so she gets to see him like once a month, which is just like unfortunate. No matter how much I dislike Amber, I do feel bad for her about the son situation.
Yeah, but she took a machete, dude.
I know. Amber has this idea that like what she has with Gary and Christina will just happen with Andrew, or should happen with Andrew. And it's like, no, you're lucky that Amber, or that Christina and Gary like have this type of relationship with you, because you are not providing that relationship. They are providing that relationship and understanding.
Gary's the one that's like, let's get together with your mom. Let's do things. Let's invite her.
Anytime Amber needs something, she calls Gary, which I think is just like kind of like overstepping. He's not your husband or partner. Like, he's your baby daddy.
You know, though, Christina's like, I don't want to get in a fight with her, so just like go deal.
Christina feels bad for her.
Oh my God. Christina pities the fuck out of her.
Christina is momming Amber and Leah.
Yeah, bless that woman's soul, truly.
Christina is the best +1 in this entire show.
Bless her. If anything happens to her, we ride at dawn.
Absolutely.
No questions.
Okay, next up is Jade and Sean. I really resonate with Jade's story. I just feel like her relationship with her parents is just a complicated dynamic.
I love Jade.
She is just a no bullshit woman, handles her shit. She's in tough situations, and I just feel for her constantly.
Yeah, she's like financially tough situations.
Yeah.
Work-wise tough situations.
Yeah.
And Sean didn't help for a long time. I really didn't think they were going to make it because...
But then, like, being in a good place, it makes me feel for her. Like, I'm so happy.
Well, Tyler from Caitlin and Tyler once said, we're the only couple still together and we gave up our kids. So, like, what does that tell you about teen parenting?
Yeah.
And so ever since, I'm like, none of them stay together. But then I think Jade and Sean were kind of like the first to like get together. But then they kept breaking up. But then you also have Ashley and like
and Bar.
And what is there one more?
I don't think so.
But at least from Teen Moms 1 and 2, none of them stayed together. But none of them gave their kids up for adoption besides Caitlin and Tyler.
Well, Jade is engaged, and actually at the start of season 2, they get married, which is like such a happy moment up here. And then it's really sad because she like finally has her parents go to rehab, and that's just a lot on her plate. So I really feel for her, like having to handle that. And
how is her relationship going though? Are they doing well?
Her and Sean. They're in a really good place. He is sober. Like at the season 1 second reunion, because they do 2 reunions for part A, part B. At the second reunion, he is like, I think 2 years sober. So by now it's probably like 3.5. Actually, it's probably like 4 to this summer.
Amazing.
Which is just incredible. Yeah, they do really well. They even had an argument like in a car where they were like fighting, and you think it's like so toxic, but then they like sit down and talk about it later and like talk through their points. And they talk about how like communication is their biggest thing. Like they're always going to get in arguments, but how can we just not let the resentment build up?
He loves her so much too. He loves her. He's obsessed with her, and I'm obsessed that he loves her.
That's such a good point.
Because their issue was never like cheating either.
No, that's so true. It was just like him getting his life together.
Yeah.
I think he needed to mature, and I feel like time gave him that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they could like stick by each other. I wish didn't have to be so toxic, but...
Yeah. But he also really loved his kid, if I remember correctly. He was like... Yeah.
Yeah.
Cute.
She's pretty cute.
Oh my God, she's fucking adorable. I want them to have more.
Seriously.
Some people just have really cute kids.
Okay, and you know who else has really cute kids?
Yes, I'm thinking it. Go.
Cheyenne and
Corey.
Ryder?
Use the sperm. Just don't be with that kid. Ryder is the cutest kid ever. Sometimes I creep on them just to see Ryder.
Oh my God.
Like, how creepy is that? And it's the cutest baby.
Their co-parenting situation, I'm like, okay, we do need one stable, positive, like, group. And honestly, it's because Cheyenne was so much older when she had Ryder. She wasn't an actual teen mom. So I think that helps their situation. Plus, like, her family is pretty affluent, I would say. Like, she has the stability in her life that a lot of like the other families don't have.
Her and Corey both also lived in LA.
Yes. Yeah.
And I found this fascinating because I had watched the season of The Challenge that this happened.
Mm-hmm.
They really didn't like, we didn't see the hookup first though. We just
No.
saw him like hitting on her and she was like, yeah, okay. But like they weren't flirty. They weren't, I think they
I
just
think it
hooked up
happened at
once.
the reunion.
Oh.
So it was off camera. It was like one time, I think, because she didn't know who the baby's father was because I think she had slept with someone else too.
Yeah, all he had said about her was like, Cheyenne's my ideal girl. She looks like Rihanna.
They
And
played
I
the
was like,
clip. They played that clip in the season this year. And I was
yeah.
like, this is so cute.
But like they never flirted. They never like, it wasn't weird on the show.
No.
And then, yeah, all of a sudden she's like on Teen Mom with Corey as the dad. But she was pregnant the whole time. She had no idea. She had to wait for Ryder to be born. And then they tested her and she was Corey's. And Corey stepped the fuck up,
it was like
up
6
too.
months later. Like he wasn't there for the birth and he wasn't there for the early stuff. And yeah, they're really good co-parents. A lot of the season
was great.
Was actually on Corey and Taylor's like relationship and daughter because they're his third child, her second child, had to have like surgery and has to have another surgery in the future. So there's a lot about that, which was really sad.
They got a redhead kid.
Alicia.
Right?
I forgot about that.
They have a
and
redhead.
then I see that baby and I was like, damn!
I don't know genetics. And I don't know Taylor's like hair color. Because she's always been blonde on TV, so
but
she could be.
I think it's dyed blonde, but
okay, yeah. So it could. I like don't know. I've never done research.
Hers isn't red though.
But then Corey's a black man, and I'm like, where's the redhead come through?
Alicia,
I gotta know genes. I don't know biology.
I wonder how many. And granted, like, I don't know these genetics either. Like, because I feel like red is a recessive gene too. But like, I don't know genetics. But
we also don't know. Because I think Corey, I don't know, but like my sister has blue eyes, but my parents don't. It's my grandma.
Yeah.
So they could have like a grandparent whose gene just like overtook.
And
like
it's Corey's mom is white, so like it could be coming from obviously from his mom's side, but
they could both have redhead and the gene was like, this is it. We don't know.
It just cracks me up because every kid of his looks vastly different from the other one.
It's hilarious, which I love too because it's a blended family, baby.
It is. Like Mila, like has brown hair. His like first or his second daughter, her first. So like Ryder obviously has brown hair. So then it's just like, but then you have a redhead. I'm like, this is just the funniest lineup.
It's so they're the cutest little like blended family, like Cheyenne and Corey's family.
They love to play with each other. Ryder asked for a family photo of all of her siblings, so they did a photo shoot for her with both the families together.
Or Cheyenne has one with her new guy Zach, her husband, right? Yeah.
She has a son. His name is Ace, and he is right between Corey's other two daughters' ages.
Oh my god, like, this is all the cutest family ever.
I know.
And I'm glad Taylor and Cheyenne can get along because Taylor...
They had beef. They had some beef early on.
I had beef with Taylor. She had tweeted some racist things.
Correct.
So
but
Cheyenne...
I love that they sat down. They sat down on Teen Mom, like back before it like merged and everything, and they chatted
Taylor
about like...
took accountability. Yes. She was great. Yeah.
Corey also went on the challenge during the second part of season 1, and this was the first time Ryder was really aware of it, and she was really sad, and but Cheyenne coached her so well to be like, you need to tell him how you feel, and so he told her she was really sad. I know, and he was like, I'm sorry, I miss you, but like it's gonna be tough. Yeah, it was kind of like that sentiment, and I get that, like
Cheyenne wasn't meant for the challenge, but Corey, he's good TV. He keeps getting called back.
Yes,
it works for him. I'm sure he gets like a handsome payment.
Also, for our August episode, I want both of us to watch the challenge and catch up on it, or maybe
I love the challenge. I'm watching it
because they're doing the Battle of the Eras.
I don't think it comes out until August 14th.
Oh, I think you might be right. But so maybe it has to be like our September episode.
Okay.
But
side note, there's 4 eras.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the really old school.
Yep.
The like middle
seasons
school.
1 through 10, 11 through
11 through 20.
21 through 30, 31 through and then beyond.
40. What era do you relate to the most?
I would say the two, like group 2 and group 3 is kind of a meshing, because some of the people I think like they put in specific eras because they needed to fluff them out too. Like there's like Johnny Bananas could technically be in any era.
No, he came in later.
No. Or not, like he didn't come in the first.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, like,
started in era 2.
Yes, but he could be in era 2 or 3, you know? Like, so I think they just placed him where they also
I think it's when you start.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like CT could be in any era, but he was on like the challenge.
He's in era 1.
Yeah, because he started in the
I can't believe they got enough people from era 1 to fill out a whole team. No shade to them.
They've been doing the All-Stars, so they're coming back.
That's true.
But yeah, Johnny Bananas started, I think, season like 15, 13. He was like later.
Yeah.
I think it's when you start, because then you have like Devin and Tori who come in like later than that.
Yeah.
The only one is I think Johnny is put in era 3, and that's wrong. She should be like era 2.
Think so. I think she came on later.
Oh, I guess she came in a little later compared to
You just because
with Leroy, because Leroy came in.
He was after John A. Well, maybe he wasn't.
He was after John A.
Yeah. But I'm trying to remember if they overlapped at all.
Era 1 is just dope. But I think the one I grew up with was era 2. That was really...
That's when I started to get it. I got into it at the tail end of era 2. And era 3 really is like where I dove in. And then era 4 I dropped out of.
Okay, I've never dropped. But era 1... I loved, because once I found era 2, I was like, I gotta go watch it all.
Yeah.
So era 1, I'm really familiar with. Like, I remember when all these people joined. I remember their original seasons. It's so...
That's wild.
So embarrassing. But no, era 2 was what got me into it.
Mm-hmm.
What happened in era 3? Yeah, these were just the extras that started showing up with my people.
I feel like we did get a lot more. It became more about casting really athletic people, I feel like, in era 3, which is cool. Yeah. But, like, I feel like it ended up not being that fun. Like, we kind of did we did a lot of pairings of, like, really athletic competition people. And it was just like
No, era 3,
and the strategy started to get fucked a little bit, because it became about like, I've known you forever. And it's like, come on.
And era 3 is when we started to do only partners or individual. Whereas eras 1 and 2 were teams. Like, it was, you had 2 teams and you had to trim the fat. And I loved it.
I agree. And it wasn't just about alliances. It was about like making a better team.
Yeah. So to bring it back, Corey's in era 3. So we'll have to see if it works out for him, but
I don't think that's the one he filmed whenever he was filming this season. One of
because he was on the last All-Stars too. Okay,
so yeah,
sorry. Go on. We're done. Side note.
A quick rapid fire about Macy and Ryan. Obviously, Ryan is still struggling with his addiction in this season, and this is the season where he's getting divorced from Mackenzie. He trashes the house. He gets arrested. He goes to rehab and leaves, and then comes in, and this is really sad. So I know I'm saying this with the tone, but I don't mean it in this tone, but I'm just so fed up with this man. And then he overdoses, which is really sad.
He does?
Yeah. He literally went to rehab, said, I'm out of here. It was court-ordered rehab, Alicia. And everybody was like, what are you doing? You have to be there, or you are going to be arrested for a long time. Like, don't do this. But he, at least, Macy was like, at least he called me from the airport last time he did this. They didn't, nobody told me, and they hid it from me. So she knew, and she was like, Bentley's really worried about, like, what's going to happen. He's going to go to jail, all this stuff. And then 3 days, I think, after he came home, he goes to Bentley's baseball game. And Bentley's like, oh my God, this is great. Taylor and Ryan see each other, and it's like, okay, there's no tension. Like, he's somewhat fine.
Yeah, but there's no one like, hey, you should maybe go back to rehab before you go.
I think they're like done parenting him and telling him what he should be doing. Okay, and then a few days later, like, police found him like in his car, and Ryan told Dr. Drew on the reunion, because Dr. Drew flew to Tennessee, because Ryan, I don't think, is allowed to leave the state right now.
I love how Dr. Drew is in the middle of all of this.
Ryan said that he was just kind of at the point where he didn't want to live, so it was kind of like a suicidal overdose, which is even more sad. But they found him. They resuscitated him once he got to the hospital. Like, it took a while.
Oh
They
my
used 2 things of
God.
Narcan on him. It was, like, really bad. Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
is Bentley okay?
Um, uh, he's in a lot of therapy,
Ugh, has he, you know
thankfully.
what? Good for Macy and Taylor,
I
because he should be.
know.
That is the biggest glow up is Macy's from where
I
she was,
know. And her
'cause-
even turning the corner to be support of Ryan. Like,
which is
Ryan doesn't deserve
crazy.
that. He, like, treated her so terribly. But I'm so
Terribly.
happy, like, Macy's also in a place where she's like, okay, I can see this is, like, a disease over, like, Ryan just being a dick. Like, I
Yeah.
gotta try and help what I can do to get or Ryan in a better place for Bentley.
Yeah. On a lighter note, Macy makes really cute kids too, no matter who
She
she's with, because all
does.
3 her kids are
She
fucking
does.
gorgeous.
Also, I will say Ryan did not look sober in the reunion to me.
Ugh.
I don't know, but I saw a clip because I was like, once I was mad I couldn't have season 2. I searched some clips and he does look sober and, like, very healthy on season 2.
Yeah,
People are like, Ryan looks hot again, even with the, like, silver foxness.
yeah, it's unfortunate because we've known Ryan for so long. We can kind of tell when he's high versus not
He's
on camera. It's kind of
I don't mean to
bad.
laugh. I just
But like
it's
I can
so
think of
bad.
specific times he was like on the couch and I was like, he's high right now. But
You
then
can just
other
see it in his
times,
eyes.
yeah, other times when he was like with Bentley, I was like, okay, he seems sober right now. But then other times he'd be like, never forget the car. That was like the
I know.
worst. I'll
I
never unsee it.
know.
I was so scared for my life and I wasn't even in that car.
I know.
But
I can't believe Mackenzie married him.
I can't believe Mackenzie went through with it. And she turns
Yeah.
off the camera, but they leave the mics. And I was like, girl, turn off those mics.
I'm dead. Yeah.
I love TV. Okay, so very sad for Ryan. But he's looking better, so that's good. But
Yeah.
how's Macy and Taylor's family? How are they doing?
They're good. They didn't really have much storylines about their life, which is my only critique of
They're just
them.
athletes.
They
yeah.
use their time to, like, which this is great, but I do want to know what's going on with them specifically, but they use a lot of their time to, like, teach their kids about, like gun issues around the country and, like,
Wow.
have those conversations with their
Haley
kids.
Macy got shot at.
Yes, yeah. Whenever there was a it wasn't Uvalde, is that how you pronounce that town's name? That school shooting. But there was another school shooting that had come out, like, right whenever they were, like, doing filming, and so then they had, like, a good talk with their kids because they were like, we're proud gun owners, like, these are not toys though, that type of conversation, which is very real. Sometimes I want to know more about Macy as a person.
I do too.
And then they also talked to their kids about, like, not judging kids on, like, skin color, and they had one of their friends who is a person of color, and his kids came over and they, like, did a whole little conversation about it, and it was really cute and very,
that's
like,
kind of nice.
tailored so well to their ages too.
Those are 2 big issues in Tennessee
Correct.
too. So I'm happy we're like talking about it.
I love seeing them talk about it. I just also want to just know Macy.
Yeah, I want them to, like, show me the sports
more.
game, show me, like, birthdays. I like when Bentley's being a big brother. Like, I want to see that.
And
He's
some of the girls went and visited each other, and so I think I just wanted more of that. Like, even if it's like Macy doesn't go visit, like, the new age girls, like, I want Macy and Caitlyn to, like, have a weekend together, or, like, the couples to, like, get together.
When they visited Caitlyn in rehab, that still is one of the best. Like, when Macy went with Tyler, that is still one of the best moments.
I know.
Like, that warmed my whole heart.
Brianna, Cheyenne, and Jade are really good friends, so they always go see each other, and I just like the crossover into each other's stories, because then it makes it seem like, because they do this, like, it's kind of stupid, like you're friends, but it helps connect all their stories. As somebody will be on, like, their phone and they, like, record a video and they're like, hey girls, like, so-and-so's having a tough day, like, Ryder's having a tough time with Corey at the challenge, like, and they're like, are these fake texts that pop up, and I'm like, all right, I get it, but
it's cheesy. It's like a campy show. Yeah, it's very camp.
Okay, last but not least, Caitlyn and Tyler.
My favorite. I saw one. Oh, okay, sorry, go.
You go.
I saw one storyline. I think it might be season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Where I think Veda is being tested to see if she is.
Definitely season
2. Okay, well, I'll just finish my thought. It's either she has a learning disability, I think, of some sort.
No. Her hearing.
Season
1. That was in season 1.
No, they're having another one because they think they are like, does she have a learning disability? Does she need like an aid? And then Caitlin and Tyler are like, is she on the spectrum?
Okay,
And they're
that's
like,
definitely
we
a
have to
season 2
wait
then.
to test.
They
Yeah.
tested to
So
see if she was deaf because she's just like slow. Like her milestones aren't hitting as much, Caitlin was saying, and so they were worried that like she couldn't hear them.
oh, okay.
But she's not deaf. She's not deaf. So yeah, they're probably still trying to
Yeah,
figure
I
out.
obviously don't. I think like if you're developing a little like slower than your siblings, it's not necessarily like a red flag.
Yeah.
I also, guys, my mom never shuts up about her job, and she like does this for a living. She like evaluates kids to see about their speech and like where they
Yeah.
kind of are at and decide if they need like an
That's it. Her
aid or
speech
special
is really
education.
delayed.
Yes. So in the new one, I saw a clip where they were like concerned
Mm-hmm.
about her maybe being on the spectrum, but they, in the clip I saw, was like, we wouldn't, which is good to say this, it's like obvious, but a lot of families don't feel this way. They were like, it's okay if she is, we just want to know so we can like help her.
That's what Caitlin and Tyler said.
Yeah, like
That's
something
so
along
sweet. I
those
love that,
lines.
like that phrasing.
Yeah, and like that's kind of, my mom was very like, she has the background in it, so when my
Yeah.
brother got diagnosed, she was like, I know what to do, we're
Yep.
doing this. But we have like a family member who, we have a ton who my mom's like, they're definitely like on the spectrum a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And one family member like got their kid tested and it's fine, but like the other family members will be like, this kid's kind of annoying, and my mom's like, he's on the spectrum, you need to like, that's really rude to say. But then
Yeah.
there's another kid that my mom was like, growing up, she's like, I think he is, but the parents didn't want to get him tested because they didn't want to know.
Mm-hmm.
And then my dad has a cousin who's
That's a
older
wild
than
concept
me.
because it's just like it kind of helps.
It hurts
you.
them in the end.
Well, like yeah, just getting a diagnosis would help you understand like how to live your life and like manage a different view of what you thought life would be like and how to handle it in the correct format of like what that child needs.
And it gives these kids, like, if you get them like a diagnosis, they not only get help from the state, but like it helps them learn how to socialize better and learn better and how
you just get
they
more
go
tools,
through
I
the
feel
world.
like, on how to handle it.
Yeah, and like the one family who did get their kid tested, they're like almost embarrassed. Like they only talk to my mom about it. Whereas my mom's very open, like Nick's on the spectrum. He has autism. Let's talk about it.
It's nothing to be ashamed about.
But then my dad has this cousin who is like, he's older than me and so clearly like social norms out the window. And my mom's always like, he probably should have been diagnosed. But that family specifically is like, he had a learning disability growing up, and we are keeping that under wraps. And my mom's like, I think you have
It's not
bigger
under wraps,
issues,
babe.
but like it's just how also you communicate. Like me communicating with my brother is different because I know. So like I like Caitlin and Tyler. It's big in my family. So if someone's ever like, we're gonna ignore a diagnosis, I'd be like, I'm gonna strangle you. But Caitlin and Tyler were like, it's okay if she is. We'll just like learn how to do it. And I was like, I gotta watch this show.
Okay, they are so genuine and so sweet. I love how, like, they are the most down to earth people on this show.
Yeah,
this is a weird side note. They are the only couple. Macy and Taylor aren't like this as much either, but Caitlin and Tyler are so much like this. Like they are not spending their money on the designer things and like be like famous people. Like they are truly using this platform to like, they say this all the time, like they started in the trailer park and like they are just trying to provide a better life for their kids so then they can like improve their kids' life. Like they're not like pissing away their money. Like they talked about like buying a grown-up home and they never thought that they'd be like this. Like, oh, I just love them.
Where they started versus where they ended.
They've done the most hard work to like really turn their life around.
And then like I think I said Macy like best glow up as far as like who you end up with and your family's like, but this was like everything. It's where they come from, where they lived, their families they had to overcome. Tyler's dad was in jail. Caitlin's mom was dating him, but also like an addict.
Married to him. That
was crazy. Caitlin's dad was not in her life really. I mean, he just lived in a different state, and so she didn't really have him around. So she couldn't live with him when she got kicked out. Tyler's mom didn't want Caitlin around either for a little bit in there. Like it was, and then they had to give their kid up for adoption. And then that family didn't want them to see her.
Alicia,
whatever thing Dawn's with, Dawn, the adoption agency, I'm fucking after you. I know.
Everyone on the internet is like, Dawn is the villain in this because she like ruined like this not ruined this setup, but like she like helped take advantage of children.
Yes.
And like I don't know when this happened, but at some point Tyler and Caitlin were given the paperwork that they like signed, which is not really a binding agreement, but everything that they agreed to. And it was kind of like thrown back in their face of what they agreed to whenever they gave Carly up for adoption. And Tyler's like, how dare you do that to me? I was a child when I did that.
Yeah. And their parents didn't sign off on that. I know, because their parents were so fucking against that adoption. So, like, yeah, and whatever, I think it came out, whatever, like, agency Dawn was with is actually, like, they're known for doing this.
Being for, like, predators.
Yeah, and being, like, you'll have a relationship with this, like, family, but then it ends up, like, they're not. So, and, like, I think also, who's the adoptive family?
Brandon and
Teresa. They know about, like, all the couples getting kids know about this. Like, they're in because they're all adults. It's like a religious thing, too.
Okay, I have a question.
I'm going to deep dive and let you know.
Also, Tyler's one of the funniest people, I think, on reality TV just for being himself. Like, he doesn't try to be funny. I just literally laugh out loud every time he is on the screen.
He was a little harsh for a little bit, but he's hilarious. After he got over, like, calling out Caitlin's weight, it got better after that.
I think he learned how to be a supportive partner. I think he was just in his own trauma world. Blunt. Yeah.
Like, she'd be like, oh, I just want a burger. And he'd be like, you don't need a burger. What?
They went through a lot this season, but I want to stick on this Carly train. Okay, so they had a visit, and they only really get him every other year, which is like so sad because like Carly's growing so much now.
And Nova knows about Carly.
Nova comes home crying because she misses her sister and wants to see her sister, and I'm like, that's so sad. And like Tyler and Caitlin always say like, I didn't realize what giving up my daughter at 16 would do to my future children. And it's just like, how could you? So they had a visit, and it's beautiful, but they said every time they leave it, it is just like giving her up all over again, which is really sad. So I have a question for you. What do you think is going to happen when Carly turns 18?
I think about this all the time. I can't even pretend like I don't have an answer fucking ready.
Go off.
I think Carly, the problem is, I know Brandon and Teresa, but we aren't able to see the visits that they have now. So I don't know Carly.
I think Brandon and Teresa are fine parents. I do not want to villainize them as actual parents. I think they're good
parents.
I just don't think they're being considered of Caitlin and Tyler, but I understand not wanting her on camera. Like, I respect all of that stuff.
And they're open to having her, or they're more than open to having Carly off camera, which is what they do. They don't show Carly's face. The problem is I don't know Carly, so I don't know how much she, like, loves Nova and loves Caitlin and Tyler. They always say, like, it's great, but it could be anything.
But it's their side,
My thought is, if it's going the way it is, I think Carly will go, hopefully, if she goes away to college and like does her own thing, I think she'll be curious. I think she'll reach out to Caitlin and Tyler. I think she'll still respect Brandon and Teresa enough to be like, I don't really want to be on camera, but I want a strong relationship with the two of you.
Yeah.
And I think she'll build it. However, I think if she stays under Brandon and Teresa, it won't foster as well. I think once she kind of leaves, again, not saying Brandon and Teresa are bad, but I think then there becomes like the whole, like, I don't want to replace mom and dad or make them feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, there's this other whole family. But I think Carly also doesn't have any other siblings, if I'm remembering correctly. I think she's an only child. It's the sibling
thing for me that bugs me the most.
I think she's going to want to be around Nova. I think she's going to want to foster that relationship, and the others too, but her and Nova have just been together the longest.
And like the ages are easier. Like the other two are just too tiny right now.
Yeah, they're not talking as much. They're not like interacting. So I think Carly, if everything they're saying is true, misses Nova.
Yeah.
And will also want to explore that. Plus, my God, if I meet Carly in college, I'm not saying like I watch the show, but I hear like you've been adopted and stuff, and like you only see them once a year, I'd be like, don't you want to see them more? Like, should we go meet them? Like, should we? I'd be like, let's go, bitch.
I know.
I'm with ya.
I feel like legally it'll make it like less constrictive, where Brandon and Teresa are the roadblock in between her relationship with her biological parents.
It has to
And
be coming
that's
up
what I'm
though.
excited for. But also, if I were a kid and if I like to be on TV and instantly basically
Yeah,
become famous, I feel like it would be
maybe.
so easy to be like, I'm ready.
I
I'm
think
ready
again,
for
it
my time.
depends what Teresa and Brandon is telling her. Like,
Yeah,
TV's not good. Like, my parents were always like, you don't want to be on TV. So I would have always like thought,
that's a
I
good
don't know if I
point.
should be on a reality TV show, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe. But then you also have to take in like, if I'm 16, which is the age Carly is now,
Mm-hmm.
especially with my parents, and I find out I'm adopted, I would be like, invite Caitlin and Tyler to my, or invite my birth parents to my graduation, invite them to my birthday. I want to
Yes.
see them. Why aren't I seeing them more? Like, I would ask questions and I would force my adoptive parents and be like, I want
I
to
know.
include them.
And like once you get a cell phone, I bet she has a cell phone now. Like that would open the
I'd be
floodgates.
calling. Yeah, it'd be
Yep.
on my own terms. Even if my parents were like, no, I'd be like pushing back, like,
These are
please
my
invite them.
parents. Like, how dare you
Yeah,
keep them
like,
away from
I have
me?
4 parents. I want all
Yeah.
4. So then I'm like, does
A
Carly,
pro
yeah,
for Tyler and Caitlin is that they have an entire show about how much they love
they
her.
love her. So then it's like, why is Carly not fighting back? Is she just not allowed? At 16, dude, I was pushing my parents every time I could.
Yeah.
So yeah, my adoptive parents who are on TV with my siblings, I want to know.
I know. I can't wait. 2 more years and I can't wait to see what
See,
happens.
so that's why I'm a little suspicious of like, does Carly not want this? Because I would
think
be texting my adoptive
Yeah, but
mom.
I don't think like because season 1 she's 14. I don't think she may or may
Oh,
not have a phone yet. Like,
okay.
or like maybe they're really watching her phone.
You gotta watch
Like,
season 2. I think she, like, Bentley right now is
correct.
16. He's driving.
In real life, Bentley is 16 this year, or like turning
He
16.
he learns
In
to drive on season 2. I saw a clip.
but he has his luminous permit.
So great.
No,
Once I
I'm
get in
just
that
saying.
car, I'm going to fucking Michigan to meet
No,
Caitlin and Tyler.
but that's what I'm saying is like
Push.
this summer, or like this 2024 year,
She's
Carly is probably
turning.
turning 16.
Ooh. She's gonna get more and more.
So, like, I would believe that she has a phone now, and I'm just curious what that is. So, whatever, like, if they're probably filming season 3 right now, so
Yeah.
that will be curious. And they would get a visit this year, I think.
Only children go one of 2 ways. They either love all the attention mom and dad give them and don't want to like leave that, or they're tired of being under mom and dad's microscope and they rebel.
But
So which one will Carly
you
be?
also hear a lot of only kids saying, like, I wish I had siblings. So, like, having
I think
both
she
would be
wants them.
really interesting. Like, you were raised an
Yeah.
only child, but you have full
Yeah.
blood siblings. Not that, like, people would really look at it that different, maybe, because I don't know
But
what
you
that
do.
relationship's like.
Yeah.
But it's just so different knowing that your birth parents were able to stay together, had 3 more kids. They all look alike, like to be a part of that too.
Do you think she'd get mad though? Like do you think she has comprehended
I think
yet? Like, you
because,
gave me up?
yeah, oh yeah. Because
Do you
they
think
have
there was
these
ever a moment
visits.
of anger though, of like, you gave me up, but you have 3 more kids?
I think that they were probably, Caitlin and Tyler were able to like talk through these things every time they visited her, or like they like there's a moment that Caitlin talks to the camera in season 1 after the visit, and she says, I hope you know, like, I did this because I loved you. If I didn't love you, I could have been selfish and kept you. So I think like
I
there's
get
no way
that, but
Carly hasn't seen some of that
at
stuff.
fucking 14, I didn't care. I'd be like, but you still gave me up.
I think because they're in her life, it makes it a little different, and she's always known. It's not like she just found this out and thinks
That's
like,
true.
oh, I was abandoned.
She's always known, and she's always like met them, even if it's every 2 years. You learn, and I'm sure.
And there has to be some type of a small communication back and forth, like phone calls and like pictures.
I need to know if Carly's like secretly watching the show, because I know a
Me
lot
too.
of the parents are like, I don't want my kids to watch the show. If I watched a lot of bullshit as a 15-year-old that my parents didn't know about.
This is the OG kids are right at the age of like they can like watch anything they want on their own, especially with the internet. Like
they can parental control their parents at this point.
1000%.
I used to watch that show. Remember the Tila Tequila show?
Yep.
Oh, if my mom to this day knew what that show was, she'd be so mad if I was watching it, even as a 30-year-old. She'd be like, "Ooh, what are you watching?"
I'm dying.
That's great.
teen mom segment.
Wait, that was amazing.
Yeah.
I loved the whole, as two people who have never been adopted or had adoptive siblings, I love us speculating about the relationship that this
Just
whole
saying.
family has.
I think about this constantly. I'm
I
literally waiting for her 18th birthday.
I think I might try and re-find all the deep dive stuff I found about what Dawn, like what Dawn's thing,
Would
and maybe I'll
love.
do that on the next one.
Yeah.
Um, since we have a little bit of time, I think I should tell you about the hockey books, but I think you've read them. You read The
Mhm.
Deal, right? By
Yep.
Elle Kennedy. Did you read all of them
No.
in the series? Okay. So I did because I wanted an easy, breezy summer read. Now, let me tell you, these suck. I gave two of them 2 stars, two of them 1 stars, and I don't even want to read the
No.
fifth book in the series.
Don't.
It's terrible. But like also it was good enough where I was like, I gotta know what happens.
Oh my
So
god.
in the first book, we learn about Garrett Graham, and he gets this girl
Yes.
Hannah, and they're all hockey stars, and Hannah's a singer, and they started out as like enemies because Hannah hates hockey players, you guys. She hates that they get everything they want. But Garrett needs Hannah to tutor him because he's failing. And if he doesn't get good grades, he can't go on the ice. It's literally a teen drama. And so they obviously fall in. Well, first Hannah needs to have an orgasm because she can't with a man.
Oh my
So
gosh.
because she was sexually assaulted, which is very sad and serious, but also the fact that she was then like, "Can you help me orgasm again?"
I
It's crazy. She can orgasm on her own. She can't with a man. So
oh my
so weird. But then they fall in love because the sex is so
obviously.
amazing. So
So
then
great.
there's the second, and it's Garrett's best friend John Logan, who goes by Logan because there are two Johns. So Logan's kind of like a quiet, sweet guy, and he's actually in
Always
love with
got one of
Hannah.
those.
So he's in love with
What?
his best girl. It gets better.
Oh
So
my god.
he's looking to just drink himself silly and be out of his house because he can't look at Hannah and Garrett together. Which also makes Hannah and Garrett really sad because that's Garrett's best friend, and then Hannah really liked hanging out with these hockey
Yeah.
players now. And so he accidentally goes to the dorms, I don't know, and finds this freshman girl. And
Oh lord.
he's like, "Oh, this is the wrong room I've knocked on." And she's like, "Do you want to come in and use my phone?" And then he's like,
My phone?
he forgot his phone. It's so stupid.
My
This is the
god.
worst book in the series, so I'm trying
This
to get through it.
meet cute.
But basically they end up hooking up. He doesn't make her orgasm.
I can't.
Put this in the intro if you put this on Instagram. He doesn't make her orgasm, so he comes back the next day and makes her orgasm.
What is the world in books is so insane because this would never happen. As if a boy cared that he made her orgasm or not.
I love this book report. He prides himself on being a good lay, Meredith. So
Good lover.
they start hanging out and talking. They start to like each other, but then this girl Grace finds out that he's in love with Hannah. Fucking is like, never talk to me again, even though I've only known you for all of 5 whole minutes, right? I don't remember all the details, but it turns out Logan just wants a relationship. He's not actually into Hannah. He's just in love with the idea of being in love.
Being in love.
So then he has to convince Grace that that's what it really was. And he goes on a radio show and confesses his embarrassing love to her.
You're lying to me.
I'm not. She's a producer at this radio show.
Stop. Thank God I did not read these.
Okay, then the third one, which I thought was the best. Still 2 stars because of the way it's written. But overall, this would be in the teen drama. This is the season I like the best.
The idea of the storyline is decent.
Yeah. This guy, Dean, he loves sex. So he's fucking all around this college, which is the part I really hated. He's also, throughout the other 2 books, everyone's like, ugh, Dean just likes to get his dick wet. Like, that's the whole thing we know about Dean. That, and he's rich. That's all we fucking know.
Okay,
and
so
he's beautiful.
He's the Nathan Scott.
Yeah, he's that guy. So obviously I'm obsessed with him.
Obsessed.
Oh shit, what happens? Hannah's best friend ends up breaking up with her boyfriend, right?
Okay.
And the boyfriend's kind of crazy, so he'll show up at their apartment. So Hannah's like, stay at the hockey house, but no one else is there but Dean. She's like, okay.
Obviously.
So she shows up, right? They get hammered and hook up. And immediately this best friend, Allie, is like, never call me again. I can't believe I've done this. And Dean's like, okay. But then he's literally like, that was fun. We should like do it again. Cause Allie secretly is really kinky. No one knew that about her. So
Oh my
Dean's
God.
in, but Allie's like, I don't want to. But they have this like electric pull towards each other. So they start secretly hooking up and none of their friends know.
Oh
But
my
it's like the
gosh.
secret hookups are fun.
I love that.
And their banter's really good because they're like, we
Incredible.
don't like each other, but then they secretly like each other, but they're not going to admit it because why
They
would we
start
do
to
that?
fall slowly. They're like, the sex is
Yeah,
good,
it's
but
a
I don't
slow
really care about
burn.
you.
It's a slow burn. But also, they're both like, we just, it would never work, right? We don't like each other. But also, they're like friends, so it's fun. Anyway,
it's the perfect like friends with benefits situation,
yes,
and then they fall
like
in love.
the perfectly written. The idea is really good. So then the crazy ex, Allie's crazy ex, does show up one night. And like is knocking on the door. It's Allie and then Hannah and Garrett. They're at Hannah and Allie's place. Whatever. Crazy Ex comes in, yells at her, calls her a whore and a slut because he found out she's sleeping with the biggest man whore in the fucking world.
Punch this guy in the face.
Dean's not there. Dean's not there. And it's just Allie and her ex. So like Hannah and Garrett can't hear anything. But yeah, this man is like, you're a whore for sleeping with Dean. Fuck you, you fucking slut. And Allie is like really upset because her main thing is like she doesn't really do one night stands, and she like was embarrassed by it, but Dean was very like, it's okay, we're all sexually liberated, who cares? And so Allie is like, oh no, and she starts crying. So then Hannah finds her and is like, are you okay? And Allie's like, call Dean. No. And everyone's like, Dean. So then literally Dean comforts her. It's very cute. They decide that they're going to exclusively date. And literally all the boys are like, don't fucking date our friend. He's the worst. Like, Garrett is such an ass. He's like, don't date Dean. He's going to fucking hurt you. He's going to cheat on you. He's going to be terrible. And Allie's like, suck my dick, dude. I'm dating your friend. And Hannah even is like, you need to stop. So, but then one of Dean's best friends dies. Not a hockey boy, but like another dude. Dean's broken. He doesn't know how to handle this. He ends up drinking. He's taking drugs. Allie's trying to pull him out. Whole life. You know I love drama. So Allie's trying to pull him out of it.
In me, I'm like, Lord.
I know. Allie's trying to help him. It's not working. He misses the like they do a ceremony to celebrate his life, misses it. Allie's like, oh my God, like what do I do? But Allie reminds him, is like, hey, I have a show because I'm an actress. You cannot miss opening day. And Dean's like, I won't. I'm just like grieving. What does he do? He misses opening day. Allie's crushed. Oh my God, dude. Crushed.
Because she was like, he loves me.
Yeah, he'll show up for me.
We're friends with benefits. No. But like, I'm so important to him. No. And he disappoints. She's pissed. And why? He just had to take drugs. And she's like, she finds him high. Oh, dude, it was crazy. So then she looks at him and he knows, and she takes her shit and she's like, fuck you, dude. We're done.
And he's fucking crushed. He's so crushed, but then obviously he turns his life around, wins her back. Oh, it was that one was good.
Beautiful.
As I'm telling you, you're most excited about that one.
Yeah.
So then the last one was stupid. Anyway, the third dude is named Tucker, John Tucker, if you will.
John Tucker must die.
Which is crazy that they named him that, and it's not a legal thing. So Tucker,
it's a name, not a book name.
It's the name, you know? Like Aaron Samuels. You'd never like name a dude that. Anyway. So, Tucker, all his friends are in relationships now, and he's like, what do I do? But he sees this hot girl across the bar one night, and he's like, you know, I'm into her. And she's basically like, her name's Sabrina. And she's like, I'm just trying to get fucking laid because I have too much to do. I'm trying to get into law school. She's also Dean's arch nemesis because they both are poli-sci majors and they hate each other. So Tucker's like, hey, we could secretly just hook up. No one has to know. And Sabrina's like, great. So they do, but they don't use a condom at first. And then they add the condom later, but it was just the tip. You see where it's going. They hook up, great sex. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to use him for his body. And he's like, we're going to fall in love. And she's like, we hooked up once. We don't even know each other. And also Dean is like, she's a monster. You should not fall in love with her.
She's a monster.
Anyway, they obviously keep hooking up. He's really trying to be like, one date, fall in love with me, one date. And she does, and she ends up liking him, but she's scared because her mom abandoned her dad abandoned her grandma hates her stepdad's a fucking creep trying to get with her. So no one ever sticks by
Gross.
her. Yeah, it was weird. So she's like, I can't fall in love with him because he'll just end up leaving me. But then what happens? She's pregnant. And she's going to
Obviously.
law school. So it's like, what are we to do? She decides to keep it. And Tucker is like, I'm there no matter what. So then he has to tell his friends, like, hey, not only have I been hooking up with this girl, you didn't know about it. For 6
We're
months,
having a baby.
She's pregnant. And then she's also going to go to law school. And then I have to figure out a job. And our futures
that
are
one
uncertain.
time about the condom and then being 6 months later, this timeline isn't mathin', but I'm just going to let that
There's
go aside.
I don't fucking know about it. But something happened, you know? And so he's like, yeah, so future's unsure. We're all graduating. Good luck to us. And his friends,
Yay.
Dean specifically, is like, this is dumb. And he confronts Sabrina and he's like, you fucking are trapping my friend. You're the worst. And she is like, she ends up sobbing and she's like, I feel like I'm ruining his life. And
oh my God.
And then Dean is like, fuck, you love him. And Sabrina's like, yeah. And Dean's like, you should tell him. And Sabrina's like, nah. So they have a kid. They still haven't
like,
said,
you know what? I'm so sorry I screamed at you. Now I believe you.
Yeah, he felt bad. He was like, fuck, okay, never mind. So they're kind of friendly now. Not that that's important.
They're not arch nemesis anymore.
Yeah, Dean's my favorite, so I care about him. But they have the baby. They're still not telling each other they love each other. Sabrina because she's scared. Tucker because he's scared she's gonna run away.
Like, yeah, I was about to say he's not trying to drop that information to freak her out.
Yeah, but then something happens where her creepy stepdad tries grabbing her boob while she's breastfeeding, like feeling her up.
Absolute fuck.
But Tucker shows up and is like, you're coming with me, and takes her to this like abandoned bar. And she's like, what the fuck? But he brings her upstairs and he's actually bought a bar and that he's gonna own. And above it is an apartment that they now are gonna live in. And she's like, oh my God, this is beautiful. They still don't say I love you.
Beautiful.
They still don't say I love you. This is why it's the worst. They're still not together, even. I know. So then they have the bar. Tucker's mom shows up, is literally like, you ruined my son's life. And Sabrina loses it. She's like, you know what, though? I love your son. And at that exact moment, Tucker walked in and he was like, you love me? And she's like, yeah, I love you.
No.
So that's why they fall in love. And then the 5th book is supposed to be like a novella about each couple. And I just don't care where they end up. So that's it.
You could also skip through to the couples you like, though.
I want to know what happens with Dean. Yeah, because that was hot.
I'm interested. I think you should just do it and read it.
The beginning was absolutely terrible. I was like, this book's going to get a 1, but it got a 2 because that story was fire.
Mwah, chef's kiss.
Yeah, so we can end the episode now. I just had to tell you about that.
That was beautiful. I really enjoyed this unleashing of everything we've been reading, watching, and listening to.
We're listening to absolutely nothing except each other.
We're listening to us yap at each other. Yeah, that's what we're listening to.
This was fun. I really like also mentally. This was a great episode.
Also, I live here now.
Also, this is my thing. Let's scrap. Why didn't we do this from the beginning? We're so dumb. No, I'm just kidding.
That's okay.
We built a beautiful community, and hopefully next week we have some Bravo for you. But right now,
yeah,
we'll do Love Island for those of you thinking we're not watching. We'll do Love Island when the reunion comes out.
Yes, that's our August thing. I put that in my Friday Bravo thoughts that like we will give you our thoughts in a month.
Amazing. Well, this was a great episode. 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Let us know if you liked it, what you want us to read, listen, or watch.
Give us criticism, please.
Give us some inspo. But
yeah,
thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.